Pantheon by Fog Dog of War is easily one of the most beautiful and well-crafted maps in the whole game. What makes it truly special, however, is its unique voting mechanism. You can decide if you want to have a team deathmatch or a capture the flag game. In this video I will show you how you can set up a similar voting mechanism by yourself. This is part 5 of my series on how to use variables. In previous videos I showed you how to manage a prison, how to pause time, how to protect a door with pin code, and how to program a kill streak. So check out those videos too, and even better, subscribe. Before we begin, I quickly want to explain what variables are, because many people seem to be a little bit confused about them. The important thing here is that you understand the difference between value and variable. So let's quickly compare values and variable. So with value you just input a certain number, for example 7, and that stays like this for the whole game. Variable on the other hand change constantly. You can add 1, you can add another one, then it would be 2. You can add a third one, it will be 3, and you can also remove it again, so it's constantly changing. The basic logic of the voting mechanism is very easy to explain. Imagine we have here a variable with a minus and a plus part. 0 divides the two parts. Okay, so now imagine if someone presses for the red choice, it gives +1 and it moves into the red part. If another one votes for red, it will move another one, and there's 2 points in the red set. And now if one votes for the blue, it will be -1, so it's still red. Only if more people vote for blue than for red, it will go into the overall blue part. There are many ways how you can input the voting. So for this example I choose to build a voting machine with 2 buttons on top. So here I have the machine, and then I have here the red button. I put it a little bit to the side, more to the front, yeah, and now I copy it. The key point here are the trigger fields, so I put them on top of the button and make it to the correct size so that you can use it with a hand trigger. And of course I copy the whole thing, because for each input you need a separate trigger field. To make it more clearly, I put a message board behind it, and I write on it what are the choices. For example here, choice 1, and on the second one I choose choice 2. So you can write basically whatever you want here. We start by setting up the variable. We add one, we call it voting. The scope is global because we want that this number applies to every player and not only some. Now we have to add 2 events for each button, 1 event. So we call the first one choice 1. As a trigger we choose here trigger function, which is this green thing here. You connect it with that one, triggering player. And for the action we add the variable, so it's this voting variable, this one here we discussed about before. And if you press the blue one, it actually makes -1. And now we repeat the same thing for the second one, choice 2. We also select the trigger, I skip it here, and then we add the value, but because it goes to the red part, it is +1. Now you want that every person can only vote once, so for this we add the second variable. We call it security. As scope we choose individual. And now we go to the event we made before, choice 1. We add an action and we add a variable. And for the security we make +1, so now the system always knows if someone has already voted. Now we make a condition because we want that this thing only happens if person never voted. Only if the security variable is on 0, then all this thing happens. You don't have to, but you can also do an else case, so if people have already voted, so the security variable is more than 0 or greater than 0, then you can maybe like show a toast and say something like no more voting or whatever you want. For counting the votes we add the third event. The trigger is match setup, select none, and then as a yield we give 30, so they have 30 seconds time to vote. Now we add a group, we select all players and we define 2 conditions. In the first condition we go here for global, the variable voting, and if this variable is greater or equal 0, then that means people are actually here in the red part. Then one action will happen, and then in the second condition we decide if this the same global variable voting is less than 0, then another thing will happen. Make sure that one is less than one is greater than or equal, so that it includes the equal, because otherwise nothing will happen if you have a 0 here. So what are possible actions? I suggest here apply buff. So we program the buff first. For example, we choose a high damage buff, so we call it high. We open it here, we make it permanent. We go here to the damage scale multiplier and give it a value of 200. That means it would be double damage. Then we make a second path for low damage, and I mean really low, which I think is fun, and for this one we give 50 damage, so it's really hard to kill. Then we apply here the buff high, and for the second one we apply the buff low. You maybe want players to know how many people already voted, so for this we add 2 more global variables. One is called high, the other one low. Here the second one, low. We add +1 to this variable in the event when you press the button, so it always knows how many people in total pressed it. And in the next step we add 1 more event, and as a trigger we choose global variable change. We choose here high, and every time when this variable changes we update the message board. So remember, you need the message board needs to have an ID, and then you just go here, go to variable, choose the variable you want to display. So in this case it's high or low, and then you just choose the number of the message board you want. You add 2 hashtags to actually show the variable, and then you can write whatever you want, and you repeat this for the second bottom as well. Two last things to consider. If people join, this will not work, so you need to have an event for player joined, And you do exactly the same thing again. You give a condition. If the global variable is greater than 0, then you choose apply above high or whatever you have chosen before. You just need to pay attention, it's the same. If the voting is less than 0, then you apply the other thing here, the buff low. You may also want to separate the voters from the playing field. So for this you go to match setup, and here after yield, that means after the weighting, you just add another group or players, and then you just respawn them here. You put this one on top of the other one. Maybe quickly check if it's really the right one. Yeah, it is. Well, now it should work. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching and see you soon.